big task at hand when it comes to Wickremesinghe, the new Prime Minister. And as I also spoke to you yesterday, where I said economic crisis needs an economic solution. But, if you actually go to see, Wickremesinghe is a part of the problem, because it was, when he was also earlier in the government, when he was in alliance, all the financial, misdeeds and decisions were part of the Rajapaksa government, certainly, but it was also under, his guard. So will Wickremesinghe bring the much desired solution that Sri Lanka needs?
Well, there was one big scandal under his guard, as you say. That was in 2015, when the central bank governor, Mr. Mahindra, happened to be appointed by Mr. Wickremesinghe, who was Prime Minister at that time. But, it would be unfair to lay the entire blame for the entire economic crisis at his feet alone, or to, as a matter of fact, at the feet of any politician in Sri Lanka. This is what we're seeing today. The crisis is the effect, the cumulative result of 70 plus years of bad policies. That is, everybody, knows that. Having said that, will he solve the crisis himself? What he needs, Charlene, is really a strong cabinet. And that, it was expected to be announced today, but it hasn't been announced today. There's a lot of speculation as usual. And they're saying that he's going to have a cabinet of 15 members, of which there will be members of Mr. Gotabaya Rajapaksa's party, and the other parties in the opposition have refused to join. Remember, this is supposed to be a unity government. So unless everybody sees eye to eye and agrees to work under Mr. Wickremesinghe, it's going to be very difficult to do that, because ultimately no Prime Minister can, sail a ship alone. He needs a crew to do it. And there are some very good names, both in the opposition as well as, practically in all parties. But the question remains, and he's also facing criticism from the religious leaders, the very senior Buddhist religious leaders, as well as the Catholic head of the Catholic Church in Sri Lanka. They both criticized his choice. But having said that, Mr. Ranil Wickremesinghe, we must not forget, is a very, very seasoned politician. He's been around for 50 years plus in politics. He's an advocate, he's a lawyer, and he enjoys excellent relations with the international community. In fact, earlier this evening, the Indian High Commissioner in Colombo, Gopal Bagle, also congratulated him, and he said that India is looking forward to working with Sri Lanka. And yes, as you pointed out, Mr. Wickremesinghe has appealed to the global community to help him in his task. But right now, what he needs is the immediate task on hand is to form a cabinet. And there, really, the various parties in Sri Lanka have to stop playing politics and get on with it, join that cabinet, and really, get the talks with the IMF going. That is the need of the hour. And if they don't display that unity right now and resort to, political mudslinging and shenanigans again, then I'm afraid it's the common people on the street who are going to continue to suffer.
That's right, Padma. Thank you so much for getting us all those updates.